United National Party Deputy General Secretary Parliamentarian Jayala Jayawardena has requested the Inspector General of Police to provide all information the police has about Kumaran Padmanathan alias KP to Interpol. He made this request in a letter addressed to the IGP.
The Deputy General Secretary stated that Kumaran Padmanathan alias KP, who was involved in the 30-year-long war that claimed thousands of lives by providing millions of dollars to the LTTEs, is one of the most wanted by Interpol. He has further stated that the Interpol website too had details regarding this. In his letter to the IGP, Jayawardena adds that Interpol has issued a warrant for the arrest of KP through the Chennai police and that he submitted a copy of this warrant to Parliament last year.
You're with News First. Up next is a look at Action TV.
The integration of graduates into the state service on a trainee basis at divisional secretariats is still fraught with problems. Although the specific criteria for such recruitment has been published, those who have been recruited as graduate trainees and the experiences of the thousands that are lining up to be recruited as graduate trainees bear testament to the fact that political recommendations play a decisive role in the process. When considering the tasks that some of these graduate trainees were directed to during maternity, it begs the question whether these individuals who face a lengthy filtering process because of the politics involved are adding any value to their degrees through their work as graduate trainees. The fact that the recruits do not receive training that would make them assets to the economy and the fact that they do not receive sufficient allowances simply goes to show the inefficacy of the state sector. It now transpires that those recruited to the state service as graduate trainees must also forego some of their social welfare rights. This letter, addressed to all district secretaries and which raises the question of whether graduate trainees in the state service should be entitled to the same benefits as others in the state service, originates from the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration and Home Affairs. Through this letter, the mother's love which female graduate trainees can give to their infants has been limited. Now this is because through this letter, the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Administration and Home Affairs informs that maternity leave granted to graduate trainees will be limited to 6 weeks from the time of going into labour. Every day taken off beyond this time frame will count as no pay leave. Doesn't providing graduate trainees in the state service exactly half the 3 months of maternity leave given to others in the state service indicate ill treatment of deserving individuals? Minister of Public Administration and Home Affairs, this one is over to you.
Parliamentarian Jayashree Ranga says that rather than debating defeats in cricket tournaments, it would be more beneficial for the people to debate the 29 continuous election defeats suffered by the opposition. Parliamentarian Jayashree Ranga made this statement while participating in the adjournment debate proposed by Chief Opposition Whip John Amaratunga on the topic of match fixing in cricket in Parliament yesterday.
கிரிக்கெட்டில் நாங்கள் ஏன் தோல்வி அடைகிறோம் என்பதற்கு அப்பால் எதிர்க்கட்சியில் இருந்து கொண்டு தொடர்ந்து நாங்கள் ஏன் தோற்கிறோம் என்பது.
Actually, rather than debate defeating cricket matches, it would be more beneficial to the voting public as well if we were to debate the continuous election defeats suffered by the opposition. Unfortunately, today we are speaking of a 2020 match we lost. But we saw that day how the minister brought the opposition leader, who has lost 29 elections, to the box where the president was seated, and from that point on, we began losing. My friend MP Ranga said something very appropriate. If the opposition is speaking of how the cricket team has come to 4 finals and lost and are raising questions of match fixing, then they must also raise questions of election fixing given the 29 defeats suffered by the UNP.
2020 match එකේදී අල්ලස් අරගෙන මේ match එක පෙරදුනාද යන්න ප්‍රශ්නයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන්
Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage and MP Jayashree Ranga discussed in Parliament yesterday whether the 2020 match was lost due to bribery. Now there is a suspicion among us as to whether the UNP lost 20 elections by obtaining bribes and undue benefits. I would like to state that inquiring into this is of the utmost importance. Furthermore, if the party leader is saying that there must be military rule in the party, the person who suffered those defeats must be punished under military law. I would like to state that like inquiries are held to remove the army commander, an inquiry must be held to remove the party leader. If this commander cannot win the war, then we must appoint another commander and take steps to win this war under military rule.
මේ හමුදාපතිට බැරි නම් යුද්ධය ජය ගන්න අපි වෙනත් හමුදාපති කෙනෙක් පත් කරලා ඒ යුද හමුදා නීතියට අනුව මේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය දිනවන්න කටයුතු කරන්න කියලා මා කියා සිටිනවා.
UMP parliamentarian Ravi Karnanayaka says that fuel prices could be increased once again due to the losses being incurred by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation. He stated this during an event in Moratua today.
Prices are reducing in the world market. In this country, prices are increasing. Last week in Parliament, I revealed that the prices of petrol and diesel would be increased by 10 rupees. Today, they are in a fix. Susil Premajayantha is as yet unable to state if it will be increased or not. It will definitely be increased in another 2 to 3 days because the loss incurred by that institution is 56.2 billion rupees. MP Ravi Karnanayaka distributed roofing sheets to 260 low-income families at this event.
United National Party parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa raised questions in Parliament today regarding the houses that were constructed to resettle those displaced in the north and east under the Samata Niwasak Hitata Sevanak initiative.
Has a census been carried out to ascertain the number of homeless in the north and east in order to construct houses for them? There are reports on this from the census that was carried out by the Department of Census and Statistics. The Ministry of Rehabilitation also has complete reports on this.
ඒ වැඩසටහන ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න ඕනේ. ගෙවල් හදන්න ඕන ප්‍රමාණය නොදැන කොහොමද ගෙවල් ටික හදන්නේ?
දැන් මම කිව්වද නොදැන කියලා. තොරතුරුදී මම ඔයා මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙන් අහලා නැහැ නේ ගාන.
The Ministry of Rehabilitation has this information. Our ministry does not have this information.
මහින්ද චින්තනයේ ඉදිරි දැක්මේ 37
Page 37 of the Mahinda Chintane states that 150,000 homes will be constructed for displaced persons in the north and east.
1,50,000ක් ඉදි කරනවා කියන එක. මේ මයික් එක දාන්න. මයික් එක බොහොම උපක්‍රමශීලීව ඔෆ් වෙනවා.
මේ ඊළඟ ජනාධිපතිවරණයට අපි යන අවස්ථාව.
When we go for the next presidential election, I do not know if Ranil Wickremesinghe will contest the election again, but we expect that either him or you will contest this election.
අන්නේ ඒ ජනාධිපති.
You can see what this number is before that election.
තුමාට බලන්න පුළුවන්.
Staying in news from the House of Legislation, United National Party parliamentarian Ravi Karnanayaka questioned the assets of the Ministry of Economic Development in Parliament today.
We have been informed that 15 motor vehicles have not been included in this asset statement. No, there are persons from the Presidential Secretariat who are also attached to our ministry. These vehicles are not relevant to us. There are a large number of divisions and institutions which fall under our ministry. There are officers who have been attached to oversee these from the Presidential Secretariat. These do not fall into our register. For your convenience, today I am tabling all these documents with the individuals' names. We have no problem with revealing this information.
ඒ සියලුම ලේඛන අපිට අනුයුක්ත කරපුවා මම සභාගත කරනවා. පුද්ගලයාගේ නමත් එක්කම සභාගත කරනවා. අපිට ගැටලුවක් නැහැ ඒ අනාවරණය කිරීම පිළිබඳ.
මේවා තමගේ පුද්ගලික
There is a belief that these are being used as private assets.
ඔබතුමා මට සඳහන් කරනවා නම්
If you are stating that these vehicles are being used privately, then the appropriate steps will be taken.
පියවර ගන්නවා.
An event was held in Colombo to celebrate the 64th United Nations Day, which falls today.
Senior Minister for International Monetary Cooperation Dr. Sarath Amnugama was the chief guest at the event, which was held at the United Nations compound in Colombo today.
Full and expedient implementation of the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission recommendations offered genuine prospects for building confidence and helping reconciliation and gaining durable peace in the country. The United Nations system stands committed to supporting the government and our national partners in this journey. Dear friends, we at the United Nations very, very highly value the relationship we have with the people and government of Sri Lanka.
The international community must not only show the problems, they must also show the successes. Unfortunately, when we read the literature which comes out from various systems, the impression is created that the scale of problems are much higher than the scale of solutions. That is not the reality. We humbly want to mention the reality Our solutions far outweigh the problems. And very often homemade solutions. So we have to think on our own. We have to work in collaboration with you. But the thinking must come from home.
An event was also held under the theme Millennium Development Goals to showcase what Sri Lanka has achieved under each of the goals.
Convening a media briefing today, Minister of Education Bandula Gunawardena stated that he is targeting a pass rate of 80% at the GCE ordinary level examination by 2016.
පසුගිය වර්ෂයේ වන විට අපොස සාමාන්‍ය පෙළ විභාගයට පෙනී සිටින දරුවන්ගෙන් 60% පමණ සමත් වෙනවා.
As of last year, about 60% of students passed the O-level examination. The Ministry of Education is targeting an 80% pass rate at the O-level examination by 2016.
සමත් වීමේ ප්‍රතිශතය 80% දක්වා ඉහළ නංවන්නේ.
Meanwhile, attention was also drawn towards the advanced level examination paper marking, which is due to commence tomorrow.
අපි හෙට උදේ පෙරවරු 8ට ආරම්භ කරන ඇගීම් කටයුතු මධ්‍යස්ථාන 30ක.
We will commence paper marking at 8 a.m. tomorrow at 30 centres. The paper marking will continue until 5 p.m. on the 5th of next month. All students must be given fair marks in accordance with the marking schedule. Several systems are being followed because the marks given for the papers marked first and the papers marked last must be the same.
එකම ලකුණක් තමයි පිරිනැමෙන්නට ඕන. ඒ නිසා විශේෂයෙන් මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි ක්‍රමවේදයන් රාශියක් අනුගමනය කරනවා.
Minister of State Management Reforms Navin Dissanayake says that the people should not divide themselves as Sinhalese, Tamils or Muslims. He made this statement at an event held in Trincomalee yesterday.
A new skills development unit of the Trincomalee District Secretariat was declared open yesterday by the Minister of State Management Reform Navin Dissanayake. The aim of this unit is to train non-executive state employees in information technology.
සිංහල දමිළ මුස්ලිම් යන ජන ගහන එක හා සමාන.
There are an equal number of Sinhalese, Tamils and Muslims living in this district. We must move forward as brothers, devoid of division and obstacles. It's easier said than done. These communities have their own needs. You cannot speak of a separate unit for Sinhalese, a separate unit for Muslims and a separate unit for Tamils. There is no such talk. We are all Sri Lankans who live under one flag.
ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් වශයෙන් එක දජයක් යට ජීවත් වෙන මිනිස්සු.
Minister of Productivity Promotion Lakshman Siniviratne says that the production cost of a kilogram of sugar at the Palawatta factory is 130 rupees. He points out that sugar produced at that cost was sold at 70 rupees a kilogram.
The cost of production at Palawatta is not 83 but 130 rupees. When I asked this question several weeks ago, our officials said it was 60 rupees. We sold sugar to Lak Satosa at 70 rupees and Lak Satosa in turn sold it to the public at 80 rupees. But unfortunately, due to the short-sightedness of the officials, or maybe it was deliberate, this institution has fallen to this level. Over the past 10 to 11 months alone, we have paid 9 million rupees in overtime allowances. An event was held under the auspices of Minister Lakshman Siniviratne to grant promotions to several employees of the Palawatta sugar factory and to grant permanent positions to another group of employees.
Staying in business news, the Department of Inland Revenue says that tax collection has decreased as a percentage of GDP over the past few years. Officials at the department note that tax collection, which was 8.6% in 2007, dropped to 7% in 2011. This information was revealed at a media briefing in Colombo today.
The media briefing was held to proclaim a tax week from the 1st to the 8th of November in order to raise public awareness on tax. Journalists questioned the officials on the reasons for the decrease in tax revenue over the past few years.
It is a pro-investment budget that has been prepared. That is why tax rates have been reduced so that there will be more money in hand which can be invested in the country. Although there may be no results in the short term, in the long term, investments will increase, businesses will develop and the country will progress. These policies have been formulated with the aim of raising tax revenue as a percentage of GDP in the long term.